Everyone is looking to validate their opinion by whatever means possible. If you are under the impression that something is wrong, and even further than that, you feel very personal about it, then it is only natural to be looking for that level of validation that tells you as an individual that yes, you're not crazy and you are in the right to be upset about whatever you are upset about. But why would I start a video with a line like this? Because in our community, in large, opinions are often more valued than hard numbers and facts. I don't even want to beat around the bush too much in this intro because today's subject is all about the perception of what is considered broken and what is considered a must-pick in Overwatch thanks to openly available information that could potentially be misleading. What I'm talking about is an article from Meta highlighting a number of statistics of not only Brigitte in Season 10, but also how she compares to other supports in the lineup. And the reason I find it important to talk about this is because, as I already hinted to, this type of information can be very misleading. So I want to talk about this concept of crowning the best hero in the game based on statistics like these, which I find especially fitting given that Brigitte has an insanely high pick and win rate. But let us take a look at this source material first. Now, Meta highlights a number of statistics from healing done to armor provided, but what matters to us here are two things: her pick rate and her win rate. Prior to going into these stats, the author highlights that no other hero has ever had as much of an impact on the competitive meta as Brigitte. She even managed to dethrone Moira by surpassing her statistics of 25% usage and 52% win rate. Looking at her pick rate across all the ranks, something becomes painfully clear. Brigitte is being utilized in all levels of play. She's currently the most played support hero in the game, going from bronze to grandmaster, with only Mercy and Moira even coming close. But going up into the highest ranking in the game, Brigitte tops off at an absolutely insane 89% pick rate. The question now is, how successful have these picks been? Moving on to the win rate statistics, you can clearly tell the tale of wasted potential, where high skill floor heroes like Ana and Zenyatta see the lowest usage in bronze and only get higher as the ranking increases. But Brigitte sees very stable win rates in all levels of play. Again, from bronze to grandmaster, she's seeing the victory screen around 55% of the time. Comparing that to Ana's below 40% in bronze and not even 55% in the highest level of play. So not only does the newest addition to the support roster cash in an average 57% win rate, but what's more impressive is that her win rate is stable in all levels of play. That is very unusual, as higher ranked players are commonly better at maximizing the value of any given hero. I mean, even other support heroes that have been labeled easy in the name of Mercy and Moira only reach about a 46% win rate in bronze. That does allow us to suggest that the skill floor to ceiling ratio of even heroes with a bad reputation in the community is seeing a bit more balance than in Brigitte's case. Now, with the way I've presented all of this information, you might be inclined to believe that Brigitte is a hero that is very easy to play, has very little to master, and is very powerful in our current meta. You might even go as far as to say that she is a must-pick, as not utilizing her presumably overpowered state is going to put your team at a disadvantage. And even the author over on Meta suggests the following: with lower tiers not playing Brigitte as much, the data points to the idea that Brigitte's win rate when the other team does not have a Brigitte may be much higher. It very well may be the case that having her on your team gives you a better chance to win, especially when the opponents don't play her. That is a very interesting assessment from a data-driven standpoint, but one thing that I like to pride myself with is my attempt of trying to stay connected with the community as much as I can. And in my opinion, this data is lacking context. As someone who is talking to a lot of people and watching a lot of live streams, I can tell you the following: Brigitte's counterplay is not being utilized anywhere near enough, even in the highest level of play. What I am telling you here from a contextual standpoint is that I have seen the top 1% of ladder players run heroes like Tracer and Genji into a Brigitte deathball composition, refusing to swap and getting absolutely stomped as a result, and that over and over again. What I want to do right now is go the way of the average player. Let's access publicly available data to find out what the hell is going on in Overwatch, shall we? Overbuff is a reasonably popular website that allows us to access competitive data from players that opted into the service. And what we can see here is something that, contrary to the article from Meta, would support my own hypothesis. Brigitte is standing atop with the highest pick rate of all the heroes currently in the game. But where are her counters? They are down on the list at not even half of her pick rate, and if we access Grandmaster specific data, those numbers are dwindling even more. Tracer and Hanzo have higher pick rates than Junkrat, and even Doomfist is being played more than Pharah up in the highest level of ladder play. That now paints a completely different picture for your average player, doesn't it? Isolating pulling data of specific things and then trying to make broader assessments based on that data is bound to be flawed. While the statistics on Omnic data suggest that Brigitte is a must-pick in Grandmaster, I can tell you from my own experience that she's nothing less than completely uncontested in the majority of games that I've witnessed. And if I wanted to do so, I could use other publicly available data in the name of overbuff to try and push my own point forward of saying that players are moaning about a presumably broken hero with no effort put into even attempting to counter her. I'm obviously not an analyst, neither am I particularly smart, but from a community management standpoint, I can tell you that articles such as these can quickly paint a wrong picture. Players who perhaps have not even struggled all that much against a new hero might suddenly feel like every loss is that much worse because some article on the internet said that she is a must pick. The problem is that these statistics only hold objective value under the assumption that players are playing the game optimally, at least if you are trying to figure out which hero is objectively the most powerful one. Making broad assessments of any kind within a week of a new hero being added, to me, is rather nonsensical. Obviously, everyone wants to try out the new stuff, which is gonna inflate the data in favor of heroes that have been recently added or changed. If we then add the fact that players are more concerned with playing their favorite heroes over actually playing the game properly, then all these statistics really hold no water in terms of power level rankings. While they might still be valuable in the sense that you can figure out which heroes are seemingly overpowered only on ladder, with no assumptions being made for their objective state of balance, then yeah, I can get behind that. And while I am sure that Omnic Meta does exactly that, analyze competitive data for competitive players without trying to make objective balance related assessments, their articles can quickly paint a misleading picture that players only use to try and validate their own opinion. But this is gonna wrap up today's video talking about the highest win rate support heroes in Overwatch and what might or might not be hiding behind that kind of data. Before I wrap this up though, I want to remind you guys that I am running for the role of community lead for this year's Overwatch World Cup for Team Germany. So if you happen to live in Germany and you want to see me taking on that role, consider voting for me through the link in the description below. And don't forget that you have to log in first before being able to vote. Now I'm gonna call it a day here, so thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't forget to drop me a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope to see you all next time.